They said it couldn't be done, not by just any adventurer. But the sun was high, and the wind was blowing, and I'm not just any adventurer. So I set forth to capture a hike of the Laurel Hill Trail, to discover many wonders that awaited me on the trail, to conquer the challenges that awaited me on the trail. And as such, I, with my trusty dog, Thor, went forth and conquered Laurel Hill. And oh yeah, we saw some cool stuff too. This is mostly a horse trail, and that's really difficult to cross on foot traffic because of the river crossings. Thor's got a pretty good history of being comfortable going for a swim. So, he's my boy. Right, Thor? Alright. Alright. So Thor and I have made it to Laurel Hill here. They're driving around on some of these what look like Forest Service roads, trying to find a parking lot. You definitely see where people have been pulling in, and you know, maybe that's all anybody does is just pull on the side of the road. I don't know. I kind of expect to find a parking lot close to what would be horse trails. If I remember before we leave, there was an interesting sign that points out that horses are banned during certain parts of the year for this place, so that's nice. Because I'll be honest, if there's anything I've ever seen on the trail that I don't like, it's horses. I'm sure that'll make me lots of friends. Anyways, Thor, what do you think? Yeah, I think it'll be cool too. This is a pretty little place. This definitely feels like a national forest, but it's the Laurel Hill Wildlife Management Area, so let's see what we find. Though it's a little uncomfortable every time I pass something that's cool and wouldn't mind video and there's people there, and I try to be respectful and not video them. Ooh. So there's the trail. So the real problem is, where's the trail start? Yeah, I guess I could hike it from here, but I guess I'm kind of looking for a parking lot. So let's see what they're handing out. Is this a map? It'd be nice if it told me you are here. Oh, it is a map. Cool. Let's go check and see what it says. If I'm supposed to have bought a license or something, then it'd probably be good if I found that out now before I had to explain why I didn't have it. And my interpretation is, I do not see anything that says that I need a special license to walk. Even with the annoying fuzzy one here. Woo-wee! So we finally reached the trail. Now let me set the stage for you a little bit. So I had just checked out and I was good to go. I didn't need any special permits. I could hike. All right, we're good. No biggie. But this is southern Tennessee and this is hot summer. It was hot. It was humid. I should have started at dawn. I started at lunch. At least I was in the shade. And you know what? I don't know about Thor. I was ready to just get going. So not very deep into this. So I've been straight downhill so far, which means it'll be straight uphill. But you can see the tree that's down already. And they already give you a warning that a lot of this will seem impassable because of the trees down. My GPS only has one route, so I don't know which one's right. I'm gonna guess it's the one on the right here. So we'll go that way. So the thing about horse trail is horses don't pack down the ground. They churn it up. So it makes for some places where you'll get maybe mud that you normally would just pack down and get nothing. First of our water crossings. Let's see how this matches up with my map. All right. So yeah, so the way I have it routed, I'm gonna go right here, and loop back around. I'll come back through here. So this should be, that's good, because I was a little worried about knowing where the cutoff was when I got back to this point. But it looks like it'll be pretty obvious. So that water crossing doesn't look particularly bad. It's the first a little early to get my feet wet. This isn't too wet right here. Probably should strap that back on. You don't seem to mind getting wet, which means I need to unplug you before you pull me in. How can we get me dry? That's not too bad. Yeah, a little bit wet. Yeah, I knew I was going to be a little bit hard to get my feet wet this trail, so that's not too bad. All right, one creek crossing out of the way. I heard there's one that might be waist deep. Not really feeling the climbing today at all. This is kind of weird. Maybe it was all the climbing I did in Colorado. Joey, what do you think? Joey wants to go back down. All right, but this is my route. See this. I just don't believe anybody gets through here with a horse. I just don't. I mean, you gotta go around somehow. We're not tied to the same things as horses, so we can get around. So part of the challenge of this hike is going around or over obstacles with a dog that wants to do what the dog wants to do, and hoping I don't end up with poison oak or ivy on my legs. Oh well, we'll see. Hope not. The last video I edited up, I was complaining that I'm doing a lot of just by myself, so I don't have anybody to video and catch me moving. Usually it's not a big deal. I'll just go ahead and put the camera down. I'll hike, then come back and get the camera, or put the camera down and go back and hike to the camera. And with Thor here, that ain't happening. Not happening. we are just hiking, because I can't imagine going back and forth dragging the dog. Huh. Looks like there's a cleared out area, almost like a camp. So this clearing, it was pretty memorable for me. So yeah, I picked off 4 ticks at this clearing. Now watch closely. I think you'll see me pick at least one of them off while I'm still on the video. But there were just so many of them. I mean, they were everywhere. Just a little hint. I'm giving you a little more foreshadowing. Figure out what happens next. Good boy. There you are. Alright, so I think I'm over here where this water crossing is. Problem is, I don't see where I'm supposed to be getting across to. If I can see that, I don't think this is too deep. I think we could cross it. But I don't really see where we're supposed to get to on the other side. I don't want to walk across just to get wet. I did bring me some Crocs though. You know, Thor's appreciating being wet. Let's walk over here, see if I have a good place to change into them. And I think my map shows us straight across that way. Try to decide if I'm just gonna have wet feet. If I want to try to find somewhere to sit down and change into the Crocs, but I think I'm gonna end up with wet feet because I don't see where good to sit down and do it. I don't want to get ticks right up on my butt. And they'll get there eventually. But... Alright, well, wet feet it is. And you know what? That's where I came from. We had to. I could walk up the trail that way until I got back to where we crossed the little creek. So let's see if we can figure out where we should cross. Already got wet feet. May as well keep going. Alright. So I think that's the trail, which is more overgrown than I want, but if it's how we get back up, yeah, that's a trail. That's how we get back up. So, I guess if that was the river that everybody complains about, that wasn't so much impassable as much as fun. Whew. Just my thoughts. I liked it. Okay, so that water crossing was fun. It's super fun. I was a little disappointed though, because online, everybody talked like it was like gonna be up to my chest. You know, I thought I was gonna be struggling to get across with Thor. No, it wasn't too bad. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I was glad it was a little bit easier than I thought. You know, I was already kind of miserable from all the ticks. And speaking of the ticks, I think the tick count by this point was somewhere around 7 or 8. It's starting to get old. So by the time I got to the road, I'd had enough. I was ready to just call it quits and head back to the truck. I already had a good hike. It was a good fun. And you should get out there if you ever get to Laurel Hills Wildlife Refuge and check them out. But I wasn't really quite ready to go home, so we did a little bit more exploring in the Jeep. Got you a few more drone shots. You know, stay on and check those out. So taking the road doesn't necessarily keep us out of the water, but it does mean that we're gonna have some easier water to walk across. Still gonna end up with wet feet. Come on, Thor, let's get across. Ah, there's the Jeep off in the distance. I guess we made it. I don't really feel too guilty about cutting the trail off a little bit early. It's got tired of pulling ticks off of me. As far as difficulty goes, it wasn't really too bad. Well, that was a pretty good hike, right, Thor? And you and me are enjoying this air conditioning. You had a good time? What do you think? Did you have a good time? You did? Okay. Alright. So let's get driving around, see if we see anything cool. So let's get some cool shots of me staring into the distance looking like a real hero. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I got it. Let's do this.